Oh, quick.
Yes.
All right. Well, tonight we do have important stuff because, as I had mentioned in the post, we have Iran mining the Strait of Hormuz. And that's important for a lot of different reasons. But let's go ahead and watch this quick news report here on Trump warning Iran against putting mines in the Strait of Hormuz. And this is 1 hour ago.
Today will be the most intense day of strikes yet under Operation Epic Fury. This is the president has offered kind of mixed signals on how long the fight could last. Yesterday he called it a short-term excursion. Now let's bring in the United States Marine Corps Navy veteran John Vick. John, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on. And I think you know, as we talk about the execution of this conflict, at least right now, a lot of the conversation has turned to the Strait of Hormuz, not very far from where I am in Dubai, and whether part of this, because earlier in the briefing they were talking about taking out, you know, the Iran's ability to launch missiles and drones. And part of this is also making sure there's, you know, there aren't any mines in that strait. What do you make of that? Because that could help the global economy.
So anyway, they are mining the Strait of Hormuz, and what this is important. And you see, the Strait of Hormuz, this very thing that is happening, has been spoken about and talked about by experts to be a flashpoint, a World War III flashpoint, for many years. And now we're getting ready to deal with it. 20% of the world's oil supply moves through the Strait of Hormuz. So the next thing we're going to see is a huge spike in oil prices, as we have already seen. And then we got one more piece of very, very important news. And that is that yesterday information was intercepted that indicates that Iran is activating sleeper cells abroad, meaning that they're going to be launching sleeper cells in the U.S. So what could that possibly mean? Well, cities aren't, you know your sanctuary cities. I think those are going to be, you know, super dangerous, to be honest. But look, especially in rural areas, this is what they're going to go for, okay? They're going to go for infrastructure, pipelines. Let me check something here. Let me see. They're going to go for infrastructure. All right, here you go. Ports, power grids, pipelines, transportation systems. So obviously, you know, and this is something that I preached on for years, is that our entire system is flimsy. It's not nearly as concrete and stable as everybody thinks it is. Everybody thought the United States, and boy, this is just, everything is made in steel and everything works. No, look how flimsy the rubber industry is. Not to be funny, but seriously, like, it's insane. Just Google it, or I'll do a show on it. But the rubber industry, like, it collapses if one tiny thing goes wrong, or one farm doesn't produce enough or something. It's insane, and it's the same way with all of these systems in our country, because, you know, we've been paying these taxes that should have went to upkeep of all these things. I used to work in infrastructure and putting in phone line. Man, everything is so old. Instead of keeping this up, what happens is the government gets your money, and then they take a small percentage and actually use it for the thing, and the rest of it they use to buy and eat children. Then they take that money that was given, that's actually going, and then they give it to a contractor, okay? And then the contractor takes a little piece of that money and sets it aside. And that's what's actually going to be used for the project. And then he takes that other shit. And that's what happens, man. And that's why everything's falling apart. They want you to believe everything's perfect. No. This place is a shite hole, man. Alright? So, you know, that's why, and what I was getting at, that's totally had nothing to do with what I was getting at. What I was getting at is that I believe it's something like 9 substations that it would take to take out the entire power grid or something. It's ridiculous. Actually, Let's check that right now. I want to know. Maybe it's just some. Maybe I'm wrong. That's why we do this here on the show. Let's see. All right, what are we getting here? Okay, so let's just read this in its entirety here. Yeah, you're thinking of a figure that's been floating around for over a decade. It's 9 critical electrical substations, specifically high voltage transmission ones. This comes from a 2013 to 2014 Federal Energy Regulatory Commission study that was leaked to the Wall Street Journal. You okay, buddy? The analysis model scenarios were coordinated attacks like physical sabotage on just 9 key interconnection substations out of more than 55,000 total across the U.S. could trigger cascading failures and cause a nationwide blackout lasting weeks to months, potentially 18 months or longer in the worst case, especially if it also hit a major transformer manufacturer, since those large custom transformers take ages to replace. The idea is that the small number of these keystone points handle outsized portions of power flow between major grid regions. The Eastern Interconnection, Western Interconnection, and Texas ERCOT, taking out specific combinations like roughly 4 in the East, 3 in the West, and 2 in Texas, could collapse the whole system under high demand conditions. Some reports mention slightly higher numbers, like less than 20 or 15 in later independent analysis. Example, one securities firm, GridStrike, projected identified about 15 using public data, but the 9 figure is the one that stuck out from the original FERC report and got the most media attention. That said, it's a worst-case modeling scenario from over 10 years ago, not a guarantee. The grid has some built-in resilience redundancies. But anyway, you get the point, man. I mean, and just think, realistically, they've taken out, of the number of illegal, what I'm looking for is the number of illegal aliens that came in under Biden. What percentage of those has been deported? Because this was supposed to be Operation Get Them the F Out of Here. So, I mean, realistically, man, you know, they threw it on the news in front of our face. And, you know, hey, yeah, we're getting them out of here. And we saw some social media stuff, and the Border Patrol was posting cool social media TikToks and whatnots. Well, we're taking a minute to calculate this, I'll tell you. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, what I'm guessing the result of this is going to be is that a tiny fraction of them have been deported. So we've got still millions of middle-aged third worlders here about to get the call. Because look, another thing that I've also said that people don't realize is that the Ayatollah of Iran that they blew up, he wasn't just the leader of Iran, he was the leader of Shiite Muslims. So now they, you know, they've raised the red flag of revenge, and they're going to have to activate these sleeper cells. Or hellfire, I don't know. Is it just shock? Because this is what's on mainstream media now. So is this really going to happen, or is it just going to be a bunch of Mossad agents blowing shit up? All right. So let's just go over the data right here. All right. Total migrant encounters, attempts to enter illegally. Based on CBP data and analysis, approximately 10 million nationwide migrant encounters occurred during Biden's term. This includes about 8 million at the southwest border alone. This figure does not include an estimated 1.6 to 2 million getaways. For context, let's see. Okay, how many have been deported? This is what I want to know. About 3 to 4 million expulsions under Title 42, mostly under Biden, as the policy was heavily used during the pandemic surge. All right, around 1.1 to 1.5 million standard Title 8 removals and returns. Let's see. Wait. Oh. Okay, let's go. How many have been... How many have been deported under Trump, man? Let's see. Let's see what we get here. During Donald Trump's first term, well, let's see. All right, well, he didn't really do a lot on his first term. What about his current term? Why would I want to know? Well, so, you gotta be kidding me, man. Oh, wow. Oh, great. More than 675,000 deportations. Now, don't get me wrong. That's a hit. Good job, fellas. But we still got a lot of them. And what do you think? Double what the data shows? I mean, this is some scurry shit. It really is. And, but like I said, our infrastructure, that's the first thing we're going to have to deal with. Poof, power out. Then how do we communicate? So look, that's what we need to get working on. That's my number one goal in the next few days, is to come up with some line of communication. We figure out some type of communication. So, we have that. We have Iran mining the Strait of Hormuz. And, oh, Lord. You know, there's a comet. There's a comet they just found that's going to make its perihelion its closest approach to the sun on Easter of this year. And remember that everything above us is for signs and for seasons. Everything that happens has a meaning. I think that there is a real flip-flop coming, because right now it looks like the bad guys are winning, doesn't it? 100%. But I believe that people now have had enough, and they're tired of giving their tax money to people who are going to use it to buy and sell human beings and do terrible things. So I think that we're on the cusp of a major event. Hey, buddy. And a real switch in our society. We're due for it, you know. And now we've got the fact, you know what? Tomorrow night we're just doing strictly science stuff. So, we got a few viewers. If you're new here, man, like and subscribe and do all that stuff on whatever platform you're on. Tomorrow night, we're going to do 3-Eye Atlas, because we still have incredibly anomalous things happening with 3-Eye Atlas. And now they're telling us that we're about to go through a 3-Eye Atlas debris field, and we're going to have meteors across the world, just all over across the globe, and black rain. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Google it. But I'll put something together and we'll talk about it tomorrow. I also been wanting to do a show on the Shroud of Turin and what they've discovered recently about it to verify the authenticity of the Shroud of Turin. And so I want to do kind of like a special thing with that. I'm going to try to do it documentary-like. I'll see how good I am with my videography, I guess you would say. But guys, those were some major things I wanted to talk about this evening. I really felt like I even felt like garbage. But I wanted to get on here and inform you guys about this, because I think that that we're, soon we're going to realize this is in our backyard. So the more we can do to prepare, the more we can do to tell our neighbors, the more we can do, share this. People have to wake up. It's time to get busy living or get busy dying. So, all right, guys, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by the show. If you would, please like and subscribe. Me and my wife are working really hard to try to get the channel out there, and I'm on a mug now. So, guys, like and subscribe. Thanks again. We'll see you.